Hi everyone, welcome to NK Studios channel. Today, I'm gonna start a new series, How to Make Animated Bamboo Trees, by Geometry Nodes in Blender. I hope this series will help you guys learn some basic geometry nodes easier, and you can model something, animate with them. Okay, first video, we will start from creating some bamboo leaves. We will create from curve. Press Shift A, curve, and choose Bezier. Press Tab to enter edit mode, press X to delete all. Change to Draw tool and draw a simple curve like this. Then, change the original to the root of this curve. Select the root. Press Shift S. Cursor to selected. Tab out to object mode. Right-click. Set origin to 3D cursor. This curve will be the young leaves of bamboo trees. Divide to two windows. Open a window to Geometry Node Editor. Press New to create a new geometry node system. Or you can go to Modifier and add geometry nodes. Change name of the geometry node system. Change name of the curve. Press Shift AE to add a node. We will have a search panel. Press Set Curve Radius. We can use the first character of each words to search node in geometry nodes, like S, C, R instead of Set Curve Radius. We will see nothing at this time when add this node. Now add curve to mesh node. Press C, T, M. This node will create curves bevel geometry. We will add a curve circle node for the profile of this curve. Press C, C. Decrease the resolution for faster performance, because you will have a lot of leaves later, when attached to the branches and the trees. Change radius to smaller value. Radius value of set curve radius node will change size of geometry, but it's a field. That's mean the value can change easily at any part along the curve. Radius value of curve circle node is a value. That's mean you can only change the size of the whole curve. We will add a capture attribute node. This node will capture the attribute of the field based on geometry that we put in. In this case we capture the factor of spline parameter node. This factor is a field of value, from 0 to 1 along the curve, from root to tip. When we connect the attribute output to radius of set curve radius node, the effect is showed. We can change the radius input by using float curve node. We will invert the curve like this to change root and tip radius. Reduce the y value of root point to get smaller radius. So we had a basic setup for small leaf. We can change curve after setup geometry nodes very easy. Add a set material node. Press New to add a new material. Change name to Bamboo Smallest Branch. Select Material and Set Material nodes. Open a new window and change to Shader Editor. We can change color very easy or pick color directly from outside Blender. Next, we're going to create a normal leaf. Press Shift D, duplicate to a new curve. Set name to Bamboo Leaf 1. We're gonna create 3 different leaves to avoid the repetition. Create a new geometry node system. Rename to Bamboo Leaf 1. We create the midrib or the main vein same as the smallest bamboo leaf. We use set curve radius. Curve to mesh. Curve circle. Set material. Use capture attribute to take spline parameter factor. Float curve for tweaking. Lower resolution. In case you want to change some part's radius when model other objects, you can add points and change it. But it does not show the effect now, because the curve does not have enough control points to change radius. So we have to resample the curve for more control points. Now we can change radius very easy. Resample curve is an important node in many cases. Set the same material for this part of leaves, as smallest leaf we have created. Now, we go and create blades, right side and left side. We will use join geometry nodes to join the main vein and blades. We will take a review of blades first. Add a trim curve to trim a short curve, so the leaf blades will not start from the root of vein. Change start to a higher value. After that, we use resample curve to change radius of blades. Add set curve radius node. Add curve to mesh node. And add set to material node. Use curve line to create blade, not curve circle, because we want to create flat bevel geometry for curve, not a round one. We change value along x and y axis, not z axis. Duplicate capture attribute node and a spline parameter node. We don't use the spline parameter node above because its factor is different from the trim curve for blades. Connect to set curve radius. Duplicate a float curve and tweak it a little bit to get blades shape. The X and Y axis values it not good right now, so we gonna change it again to get better result. Now we have a side of leaf blade. Select all these nodes. Duplicate to get the other side by press Ctrl-Shift-D. The other side is mirror or flip, so we should change value of curve line node, like this. Okay, we can join geometry all of them to get final leaf. We can create materials for leaf blades now. Before that, we have to concern about UV unwrap in geometry nodes. There are several ways to unwrap in geometry nodes. In this case we can take the factor of spline parameter nodes as X and Y value of faces, so it will be U and V in unwrap. Y-axis will be factor of curve we drawn, and X-axis will be factor of the curve line node. We use capture attribute node again to get factor of curve line node for both side of leaf. Use combine XYZ node to take the UV attribute. Connect to the output node. We should name them these UV output. Right leaf part. Left leaf part. Open the output. We add name for these attributes. Take them to shader editor. Right UVs 1. Left UVs 1. Go to Material tab. Add one slot. Rename it. Bamboo right leaf 1. Bamboo left leaf 1. Set material for each parts. Open a new shader editor window. Add an attribute node. We can pull out the attribute from geometry nodes. Use separate XYZ node to get X factor. Add a math node. Change to truncated modulo. Connect to surface output and see the result. When we connect only X channel, the factor will show a black and white gradient on whole blade. If we add truncate modulo node, this gradient will scale down. We will scale down more to get leaf texture. Use mix color node. Combine with a noise texture node. We can change some value to get better result. Change blending mode to linear light. We will use this result for factor of another mix color mode. We can also use for Runnis effect. Add math node for more Runnis of the leaf. Next, use mix color to get another effect for later. a lighter color for younger leaf. When leaves close to the tip, it will have younger and lighter color. We will change them by position. Use geometry node. Position. Use separate to get z-axis only. We can move the leaf to see the effect. Use mapping node. Change the z value to smaller, because the changes of leaves is too fast right now when get higher position. We need it change slower for very high tree, so this value will be 0.01. We can use gamma node for a higher contrast color. Mix shader with a translucent node for better leaf material. So we have bamboo leaf material. Select all these nodes. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V to next material slot. Change attribute name to left, then we have the final result. Duplicate another leaf. Change the curve. Change name to bamboo leaf 2. Create another leaf. Change name to bamboo leaf 3. Okay, now we have for parts of a bamboo trees. Next video, we will create twig and branch for this tree. See you soon and happy blending.